A sweeping gamble for peace was unveiled in Washington on Monday, where US President Donald Trump presented a 20-point proposal aimed at ending the devastating Gaza war and redrawing the territory's future under what he called New Gaza. The plan, the product of weeks of closed-door negotiations between Trump's team, Israeli leaders, and Arab counterparts, seeks to halt fighting, secure the return of all hostages, and lay the groundwork for international oversight of Gaza's reconstruction. Whether Hamas will agree remains the pivotal question.
What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back. Hard to believe when you even say it, and creating conditions for durable Israeli security and Palestinian success.
Hostages release. The centerpiece of Trump's proposal is an immediate ceasefire and a staged Israeli withdrawal tied directly to the return of hostages. Within 72 hours of Israel's public acceptance, all captives, living and dead, must be released. Israel, in turn, will free 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences along with 1,700 Gaza citizens detained after the October 7, 2023 attacks. For every Israeli hostages remains returned, Israel will release the remains of 15 Gaza citizens.
If accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. So the hostages are coming back.
Amnesty to Hamas members. Once hostages are freed, the plan offers amnesty to Hamas members who surrender weapons and pledge peaceful coexistence. Those unwilling to stay would be allowed safe passage abroad. Humanitarian aid would flow into Gaza at levels agreed under the January 19, 2025 accord, delivered through the UN without obstruction from either side. Trump emphasized that Arab and Muslim nations have committed to ensuring Gaza's demilitarization.
Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed, and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it, to demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations. Do that immediately. And we're relying on the countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas. And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing. Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas.
Board of Peace. Oversight of post-war Gaza would fall to an international Board of Peace, chaired by Trump and featuring former British Prime Minister Tony Blair in a yet undefined role. A transitional technocratic committee of Palestinians and international experts would govern Gaza temporarily under this board while the Palestinian Authority undergoes reforms.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it. And we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders. And we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair. Good man, very good man. Hamas and other terrorist factions will play no role in the board, but they'll play no role in the governance of Gaza at all, directly or indirectly.
Governing of Gaza. The plan stresses that no one will be forced to leave Gaza, though those wishing to depart may do so freely. Hamas and all militant factions would be barred from governance. Military infrastructure, including tunnels and weapons factories, would be dismantled under independent monitoring. Israel would retain security responsibility and maintain a perimeter around the territory for the foreseeable future.
Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will retain security responsibility, including a security perimeter for the foreseeable future. And lastly, Gaza will have a peaceful civilian administration that is run neither by Hamas nor by the Palestinian Authority.
Trump's plan on economic development. To rebuild the war-scarred enclave, Trump envisions a special economic zone and a development strategy modelled on modern miracle cities in the Middle East. Experts would be convened to craft a plan offering Gaza preferential trade and tariff agreements with participating countries. Regional partners' role. Arab and Muslim states would be central in enforcing Hamas compliance and stabilizing Gaza. The US and regional allies would form a temporary international stabilization force to deploy on the ground.
Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas. They have to deal with them because they were the one group that we have not dealt with. I haven't dealt with them. But the Arab countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding.
On Palestinian statehood. The proposal rules out Israeli occupation or annexation of Gaza, with IDF forces gradually handing over territory to the International Stabilization Force. Yet, Trump's framework skirts a definitive path to Palestinian statehood. It acknowledges the Palestinian aspiration but defers progress until the Palestinian Authority undergoes major reforms. The US would facilitate dialogue between Israel and Palestinians to explore a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. But Trump noted that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains firmly opposed to a Palestinian state.
In our meeting today, Prime Minister Netanyahu was very clear about his opposition to a Palestinian state, and he continuously mentions October 7th, and I understand that. Most people do. Several countries have foolishly recognized the Palestinian state. As you know, some of our European friends, allies, good people, but they're really, I think, doing that because they're very tired of what's going on for so many decades. They've been presidents and prime ministers for years, and during this time, having to do with the Middle East, all they're doing is talking about the same thing over and over. They want to see it get back. And nobody wants that more than me, or I believe Bibi too.
Trump's sweeping peace push now stands at a precarious crossroads. Its success hinges on Hamas's response, regional partners' resolve, and Israel's acceptance of international oversight, conditions that could either transform Gaza into the new Gaza Trump promises, or plunge the region back into familiar cycles of bloodshed.